Today's session, actually we did it before with the sales team. And then after talking to my team, we realized that we, we can do one more and then we repeat the process. We add in after the first session, right? We add in more points. So what you see today here is, if you attended before, what you see today here is slightly different. There's more points added in. And then the whole reason why we are doing this second session is actually so that we can record it and then we put it on YouTube. Oh. So that's the main purpose. Of course, to pass on whatever we have learned here. Oh. So let's just wait for two more person, then we'll start. So let me repeat again, the session will start at, it's supposed to end at 9 p.m., right? 9 p.m., yeah? You're expected to leave at 9 p.m. as well. If it's earlier, then there's no point. Yeah. And then if, okay, so this is my username for my Instagram. So if your Instagram account, you go to Instagram and then you key in this, you search for my username. Inside my bio, we have a link to a YouTube channel. That YouTube channel is where we are going to post this video, right? So that YouTube channel, even though it's quite old, the content there is only 30 subscribers, and then we only have maybe less than 10 videos only. So right now, what we are trying to do is actually put in more content into this channel. Yes, come. Anybody else? Oh, this is your husband. Hi, husband. Oh. Husband, this is my Instagram. Are you too tall? Jessica can see not? Can see So this is my Instagram account. You can add me. Yeah, already. Better make sure. And then the YouTube as well, you subscribe to it. Okay. So after today's session, if you think that whatever I'm saying is not working, then you just unfollow me, unsubscribe from me. Huh? Let's make it as simple as possible. So how did we come up with this? Actually, it's not done by me. I didn't create this thing. This is just a compilation of multiple books. Right? In total, we're talking about at least 20 to 30 books here. Easily 20 to 30 books here. So today's session will start at, by right, we're supposed to start at 9. We are supposed to end at 9 as well. But then that suppose is supposed to end at 9. Maybe we will end earlier. Maybe we'll end earlier. It depends on the interaction, depends on the understanding level. All right. So when we talk about communication, right? I'm just a young little guy named Mao. I'm only 32 years old. So what do I know about communication? That's why what you see here is actually extracted from books. And me and my team have been using it. And it's quite surprising to say that the both of them there that is recently married, after executing the stuff that is inside here, the argument becomes less and less. So when we talk about communication, what am I doing here? I'm talking to you all. So is this communication? Maybe it's called a one-way communication, right? So if there's interaction, then it will be two-way communication, right? Now, so if I'm just standing here like that, am I communicating with you, even though I'm not saying anything? Huh? Then it's called body language. It's still another form of communication, right? So whatever we do, actually, the way we walk, the way we smile, the way we listen, it's actually a form of communication. Huh? The next question we should ask is communication replicable? Can we replicate communication? Now when we look at all the surveys in the world, like PwC, Deloitte, usually they'll come up with a lot of surveys and then reports. And what they found out is 80%, right, of the people, 80% of the leaders, so-called, that you see in the company, Do you think they use communication? Of course, right? I say, of course. Yeah, 80% of the people use communication. What about 20%? Are they still communicating? Even though they are not verbally communicating, they are communicating through SMS, your emails, right? So in a way, even though you're not talking to anyone, you may be a freelancer, you may be on your laptop 24 hours, you may only be interacting in a website, in an email, in a way you're still communicating. So the question is, can we replicate communication? Anybody? So after you learn today, can you become a communication expert? Or you move closer to communication expert? Can we do it? Who do you think we can achieve communication expert status? The guy there is having a hard thought. Deep thought, deep thought. Can or cannot? Can or cannot? Can or cannot? Yes. Listen. So today we're going to talk about communication. And to answer my question, yes, you can actually replicate communication. But communication, we have a few aspects to it that we would like to look at. But before that, just like to go through this. In the world, usually there's 3 types of people. You can call this 3 types of mindset, 3 types of mentality, call it whatever you want. Basically, there are 3 types of people. The first type is what we call the prisoners. Second type, passengers. And the third type, explorers. Now, what do I mean by prisoners? For example, today's whole session, start at 9, we're going to end at 9. Almost whole day, right? So did your wife force you to be here? If your wife forced you to be here, then your thinking is, oh no, I'm going to be a prisoner from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Prisoner. I got no choice but to listen to my wife, or not, she's not going to cook for me for the next 1 month. So that's a prisoner mentality. Another better example of prisoner would be passenger. Since my wife asked me to come, and I want to eat dinner for the rest of the month, I just join along. So if I come, if the speaker is good, I get to learn. If the speaker is bad, and then there goes 1 day of my life. So that's a passenger mentality. What is the third person? The third person is actually the explorer. Explorer means what? Explorer means, you look at those archaeologists, explorer. They'll go to a mountain full of soil, and then they take a hammer, and then they knock. After they knock, they'll take a brush, and then start brushing off the soil. What are they doing? Their job, do you think is boring or not? To me, it's very boring. Because all his life, most of the time, he's brushing soil away. But what's his mentality then? He's an explorer. His mentality is, the next brush, maybe I will uncover a bone. Maybe I'll find the next new species of dinosaur. So that's the explorer mentality. Now in real life, how do we apply this real life? For example, today when I'm driving here, and then somebody cut in front of me. So I can have the prisoner mentality. Somebody cut in front of me, then I'll say, what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut in front of the guy and then slow down. Or I don't let him, I move closer to the front car so that he don't come into my lane. That's a prisoner mentality. Usually, prisoner will always say, I got no choice. Whenever there's a stimulus, I got no choice. Now you look at all the people that have committed crime, convicts and stuff like that. When you ask them, why did you rape the girl? I got no choice. I went into her house, she keeps shouting, I have to hold her hand. I got no choice. Who asked her to shout so loud? I have to shut her mouth, then I rape her, then I kill her. So to them, it's always no choice. For example, kids as well. Why did you steal the money? Why did you steal your parents' money? I got no choice. My parents didn't give me enough money. I got no choice. You see? No choice. This is the prisoner's mentality. Right? Passenger is in the middle. I can do this, I can maybe yes, maybe no. I just go along. My friend asks me to come along, I'll come along. So if you look at the difference between a prisoner and an explorer, we first have stimulus and then response. In this case, prisoner's response is I got no choice. But explorer, we have response, but before response, the freedom. Now use back my morning example. When I was driving here, a car cut in front of me. If I'm a prisoner mentality, I'll cut in front of this person, or I move closer so that this person don't come into my lane. What about explorer mentality? Explorer, I would say, what do I say? If I'm an explorer, do I compete with this guy? No. What is the difference here? Stimulus, response, freedom. If you look at this circle, this area is called circle of concern. This area is called circle of influence. Okay? Use back the same example, the person cut in front of me. What is circle of concern? Circle of concern means the things that I can only be concerned of. For example, Donald Trump is going to launch a nuclear missile to North Korea. Is it my circle of concern? Yes, it's my circle of concerns. But what can I do anything about it? Can I do? I can't do anything about it, right? If I can't do anything about it, then it's considered circle of influence. Circle of influence meaning we look at the things that we can control, the things that we can do. If Donald Trump is going to launch a missile to North Korea, that is under the circle of concern. Therefore, nothing to do with me. And most of the time when your friend comes to you, when they tell you the problems, usually falls into the circle of concern. And then you maybe conclude, nothing to do with you. I don't understand why you're so angry. Huh? Circle of influence, what can I do? For example, the guy cut in front of my car. Circle of influence. Can I do something about it or not? Right? I can do something about it, right? I can bang his car. 1. I can move closer to the front car so that he can't cut into my lane. 2. Right? I can even stop, let him to come into my lane. 3 methods already, right? So what's the difference between prisoner and explorer? We have this circle, and in between this circle, we have the border. This border will determine what you do, and it will determine the result of your life. This border here, what is so special about this border? Anybody know who came up with this equation? Anybody? Orang Jepun. Someone famous? Yeah. Kazuo Inamori. Yes, Kazuo Inamori is the one that came up with this formula. Is this formula simple? Your result of life. Let's talk about effort. What's effort? Effort is whenever you want to do something, how much effort do you put in? Everyone here understand effort, right? Yes? I'm making assumptions here. Yes? Okay? How much effort you put in while doing something. So let's say, when you really want to do the work, you put in a lot of effort. What score do you get? Let's say you put in a lot of effort. Can you give yourself a score? Usually the score will be from 0 to 100. Let's say, whatever things you want to do, your effort maybe is 70. So you give yourself a effort 70 score. What's next? Ability. Same thing. Do you have the ability? Can you drive? In this case, the person cut in front of me. Can I drive? Do I have driving skills? In this case, I have maybe 80% ability. So same thing for ability, 0 to 100. I give myself 80. Now this is the special part, the last part, attitude. Attitude, the range for attitude is actually from negative 100 all the way to positive 100. Now, use back the same example. When I was driving, the person cut in front of me. What is my attitude then? If my thinking, my thought process, my attitude is wrong, for example, I want to move closer, or in this case, I have a thought of go and bang the guy, bang this guy that is trying to cut into my lane. What is my attitude? Definitely negative. Maybe a little bit negative 10. Do you have the effort to stop the guy from coming in? Yes. Do you have the ability to stop the guy from coming in? Yes. What is my attitude? So you multiply this one times this one times whatever figure it is, as long as there's a negative attitude here, this whole equation will be negative. Just now, this equation actually is taken from Kazuo Inamori. Kazuo Inamori, back in those days when he was young after graduation, if I'm not mistaken, is around 1840s or 1850s, 1940s or 1950s. After graduation, he's a Japanese guy. After graduation, he went to Tokyo and looked for a job. So in those days, when you want to look for a job, but you don't have a strong family background, it's very hard to find a job. Most of the time when you want to find a job, you need a strong family background. So in his head, he was thinking, do I continue to find a job? Because he's a chemical guy, right? He graduated in chemistry. And then in his head, do I find a job or do I join the Yakuza, the Japanese gangster? Now, if he were to join Yakuza in this case, what is this? His effort can be very high. I can spend most of my time. I can go and fight for the bosses. My effort can be 100. My ability, I'm young. I can pump some muscle, pump some weights, right? Have a bigger muscle. Then my ability can be 100 as well. But then, just joining Yakuza alone, we are having a negative result already. So result of life, doesn't matter how good you are, how strong you are, your ability or your effort, is negative. So now you see the difference between prisoner and explorer. In a way, it's a mentality that we put in ourselves. After I realized this, then I feel a lot of the time, I put myself in a prisoner mentality. And now it's a way for me to reflect. So actually, in this whole day, even though you're learning communication, most of the time we will be reflecting, right? When we look at, whenever you see a slide, and then you see this little spaceman here, which means either we'll go for break, then after break, we'll have some interaction session, right? With your peers around here. And then the most important part is when we are doing those activities, we get to interact, and then we get to reflect on the things that we have been doing. So what's communication? Can anybody summarize communication? What's communication? Just now we talked about communication is a one-way communication, we got two-way communication, we got non-verbal communication. What you're hearing now is verbal communication. So what's communication actually? Anybody can summarize? I see a few faces. Deep thought again. Deep thought. This is that's good. Huh? No? What's communication? Interaction. Yes. With one another. Yes. If we were to summarize all these things, yeah, we can get, we'll come back to this later, we can get 2 words. Every time, right, every time we want to communicate with somebody, these 2 things need to be in place: respect and collaboration. If there's no respect, if there's no collaboration, there's no point in communicating. There's no point in communicating. Why? Because the end result is going to be rubbish. Later you understand why it becomes rubbish. But before that, you see this little man here? What are we doing? It's time for a break. But no, we just started. What break? No break. Okay, reflection. Now let's do some reflection. On this chart you see here on the y-axis you see low, high. This is learning from low to high. And then the x-axis you see low to high performance. High performance, low performance. Low performance, low learning. What's happening? Unproductive failure. On top of that, low performance, high learning, productive failure. What is happening here? What are you seeing here? When you look at this chart, what you are doing is you are looking at previously how your communication method, the communication method that you use, was it successful or not? Did it get you what you wanted, or did it fail? And if it failed, it didn't get what you wanted, do you know why it failed? For example, let's say I give everyone here a task of finding the best or the cheapest iPhone 12, right? If the task was to go out and find the cheapest iPhone 12, maybe 2 hours time everyone can come back with the iPhone already. But then some people will pay at a higher price, some people will pay at a lower price, right? So then those people that pay at a higher price, what's happening? Is it a productive failure? Do you know why you pay at a higher price? Or is it an unproductive failure? Which means sometimes in life, when you do something, when you execute something, you don't get the result you want, you fail. But do you know why you fail? Did anybody reflect that way? No? So because this little man is here, I'm going to give some time for you to think. Not just in communication, in anything that you do. Now you go and reflect back, right now, yeah, reflect back. Is there something that previously you have done, but then you didn't get the expected result? In this case, unproductive failure. And worst case, you don't even know why you failed. Okay, then we look at this area, high performance, high learning, productive success. You know you succeed, and then you know why you succeed. Here is the worst part. Why I say this is the worst part? Because you got high performance, but then low learning. For example, in a company, let's say you are the owner of the company, yeah? You started the company maybe 2 years ago, right? It can be whatever company, selling phones, right? Selling cars, selling condos. Let's just say you started this company 2 years ago. You started some hiring, and then the headcount in the company grow. You start to earn more money, right? Do you know why? Do you know why? Why did the money come in? What have you done? Most of the time, in most companies, as the company grow and grow, they are getting performance. They are getting money in this case. They are getting returns. But then their learning is low. In this case, it's called unproductive success. That means they keep growing and growing, but they don't know how they actually is able to grow. And then slowly they reach that size that they are. late and we're recording. Yes. So productive, unproductive success. So a lot of business owners, as the company grow and grow, they don't know why the company keep growing. And then after, usually there's a plateau. Once you reach that plateau, when the headcount is very high, the monthly cost starts to be higher. Then only they start to realize, actually, I don't know how I got to this situation. Then in return, on the opposite is high performance, high learning, productive success. Which means every time you succeed, you actually know what skills did I use, what tools did I adapt, where did I do right, where did I do wrong. So my question to you is, recently did you do something that is productive success? Recently did you realize something that is unproductive success? Anybody want to share? Yes. Nobody want to share? Nobody want to pick people already? Deep thought. I did it aside, deep thought. Okay. Another deep thought. Yeah? This, okay, good. As long as you are thinking. Do you do something that is productive and you succeed? So what's communication? Respect and collaboration. Whenever we talk about communication, whenever we want to communicate with another person, we need respect and collaboration. Right? So now we have identified what is communication. Let's identify what is respect and collaboration. Slowly. Okay? Because respect is a big topic. Later we come back into it. We go for collaboration first. What's collaboration? Simple. Collaboration is the process of two or more people to complete a task. Anybody disagree? No? All of you agree. That's very good. So when we collaborate, we are expecting one or two person to complete a task, or maybe more. It can be more than 2%. That's collaboration, right? So then the question, then you see this question here. If collaboration, we need 2% or more to complete a task, then why, when sometimes people don't complete a task, or when sometimes people don't follow your instruction, you get angry? Why do we get angry? Expectation, someone? Needs. Your needs not met. That's why you get angry. Okay? Any other reason? One word, fear. You get angry because you're scared. That's all. Who understand this one? Just now you said expectation. Why do you have expectation? Because of what you lack of. That's why you have expectation. And because you have expectation, because everyone have expectation, they get, this is buy one, free one. Because you have expectation, you have disappointment. It all started because you lack. because something is missing here. How is it connected to fear? These four toxic steps that we see, that we usually see happening. Later we come to this. So if somebody don't listen to you, usually you get angry, and the reason behind it is fear. So what is fear? Fear is a meta program created during childhood. Okay, what is a meta program? Meta program very simple, but it affects every one of us. Every one of you here, everyone, including myself, the way I talk, the way I move, the way I respond to things, it is all because of fear, and this is actually created. This meta program is actually created when I was young, in childhood. It can be your parents, it can be your teachers, it can be your colleagues, it can be your friends in school when you were young. And then as you grow from 0 to 7 to 12 to 30, almost every year you collect more and more meta programs. So what is meta program? Now instead of explaining meta program, let me give you an example. Now this example is taken from a book here. So this husband and wife recently got married, and what happens is the husband starts to realize that after the wife used the toilet is messy, right? So the whole toilet is messy, and then the husband will say, "Hey wife, after you use the toilet, can you clean it up?" The wife said, "Okay, yes, no problem." And then a few days later, it's messy again. Then the husband tells the wife again, "Hey wife, can you clean it up after you use the toilet?" No, he's getting a little bit angry, second time. And the wife say, "Okay." Now the third time, maybe a few days later, the third time it repeats. And the husband say, "Oi, I told you first time, second time, now it's the third